When the Lair species arrived, which was a humanoid species a little bit bigger by about 10% of your average human, arrived at the colony worlds, the humans that were there actually welcomed them, and everything was peaceful between the two. So peaceful, in fact, that both species began to look at building a life together. For a while, it worked. The first layers were those that actually wanted to live in peace with the humans. In fact, some wanted more than peace. The Lair found themselves interested in things like partying, dancing, and intimate relations, and of course, consuming massive amounts of a special liquid that humans seem to be very adept at making, a special type of ethyl alcohol, something humans also prided themselves on making. These layers only wanted a symbiotic relationship with humans, fixing their own shortcomings by humans supplementing with more creativity and entertainment. In return, the layers would lend their own expertise in things like calculation and knowledge. This made this particular colony world of Lilith very productive and very profitable in a very short time. One of the reasons why is due to humans being natural protectors. Humans protected and provided for the Lair, and in return, it allows the Lair to actually focus on what they do best. A solid arrangement. This helped each other. This worked. That is, until a new crop of Lair arrived. The changes started slow, with rhetoric, simple talk about how the Lair needed nothing from humans, and humans were not good for anything else. At first, they were shouted down, but the voices did not stop. In fact, they collected more voices and they got louder and louder, eventually moving these voices into the body politic as a whole. From there, everything began to change. At first, it was small pieces, but eventually it sped up faster and faster. New laws began to be passed, laws specifically targeting humans. The courts became full of magistrates and tribunals that constantly placed more and more burdens on the human colonists. In return, the humans received less and less authority on a planet they themselves had originally colonized. The Lair seemed to laugh at the humans' misery, almost to the point of drinking their tears, which seemed to be some sort of slang in their own. Soon enough, seeing all this, the humans did something that no one expected. They began to pull away. This was not seen by most, except for the fact that it seems that the humans were not even attempting intimate relations with the Lair. That surprised all of them, as it seemed like many of the human females would, as they say, climb a layer like a tree. The Lairs tried everything from altering the color of their outer layer to demanding humans still arrive at a place of entertainment and produce or bring the delicious ethyl alcohol with them. Yet this seemed to push the humans further and further away. The more the humans pulled away, the more the Lairs just demanded more from them, even to the point of passing their absurd laws. Everything came to a head as the humans began to depart in large numbers. Taking up arms against the Lairs would be nothing but strengthening the Lairs' positions in their own government, as they could use this as some sort of political battering ram. With the planet's laws against them, the humans of Lilith did the only thing they could. They left. A few at first, but soon a flood of humans were packing everything they could on their personal transports and, as they said, fucking off. The Lairs, in authoritative positions, claimed that this would only make the planet safer, make it stronger without the humans around. As the last humans left, they left with a warning. We will return, but we're only going to return after you fall. This was taken as a threat in their own media and used as propaganda, as once again strengthening their own political positions against the humans on the planet. As it turned out, these words were actually prophetic. Without the strong humans, easily 2 or 3 times stronger than the Lairs, construction, resource allocation, and even basic maintenance suffered. This forced much of the layers to work long, hard, very difficult, and dirty occupations before their beautiful cities just simply collapsed around them. It was not long beyond this point before those that realized how much the humans had contributed to their society decided to leave as well. Many tried to follow the humans, but restrictions into human held territory actually forbid it. Lilith was actually within the buffer zone, and regardless of the position inside the Galactic Senate, you couldn't break this law. Then the Lairs tried to ask the humans to return, eventually demanded that the humans return to the position of servitude that they were told to be at. Humans as a whole, realizing the reality of living with those Lairs, sent a clear message. A message that seemed like every single human practiced over and over again. It was the most powerful message that they could send, and almost in one voice, every single time, the humans simply said, no. True to their word, humanity only returned once the planet Lilith was only a shell of itself, raided by pirates constantly, ravaged in these raids to the point that many buildings were simply held together with little bits of wire and good intention, and also the ravages of time due to the lack of maintenance. And of course, the once beautiful Lairs, hardly looking like themselves, like the pretty creatures the humans remember in their past. As the humans did, in fact, settle once again, the younger Lairs came to live with them. The humans hoped that these younger ones would learn from their predecessors, yet every time the subject came up, the Lairs noticed that humans would give each other a certain look, almost like what they would call a side glance. Eventually, they did ask the humans, why do they do that? And eventually, they did get an answer. An older human, an old grizzled male, who was on one of their most popular broadcasts, said, I'll just tell you straight up. You're scientists, so you should understand. Everything happens in cycles, yes? We know this. Now, in society, everything happens in cycles, unless you learn from the past. When the Lair right next to him asked, what were we supposed to learn? The human simply turned, give almost a sly grin, and said, it's simple. Respect, my dear. Simple respect. Hello, everybody. This is Syntax. Thank you for joining me today on this short story. Now, before I go, I need to say that today's winner is Chris Dixon. And I also need to send out some special thank yous to the supporters of this channel, and those are Prozac and Pancakes, Sir, SS Demon, MTF Guard, Brian Kemp, Guardian Sage, Douglas Scarborough, Erica Gem, and Julius Boone. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next one. This is Syntax, punching out.